Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of the day you're listening or watching this podcast. My name is Oluwaseun David. I said I love my name very, very well, and I think I'll keep saying this anytime, any day. So today we're going to be having on board Oluwaseun, and I was just thinking to myself that wait, the last person we brought on board was Oluwaseun, and we're bringing another Oluwaseun on board. So is it that God is saying something concerning Oluwaseun? So, but then today, for this month of June, we're going to be looking at the visionary journey. That's what we're looking at for this month of June. And trust me, this month of June, you listening and watching this visionary journey is going to impact you in a significant way. Now, it's not just you as a Gen Z, whatever your age, right? Whatever the age group you are in or category you are in, you are going to be blessed by this conversation we're going to be having in this month of June. And the person we have on board today is Oluwaseun Newton. And Oluwaseun is going to be sharing a journey with us, how she has been on this visionary journey. I would say I know a lot, right? But I think I know a bit of her journey. And I'm going to be asking her some questions in this conversation. And one thing that I'm trusting God for, right, is that anybody listening to this, right, or watching it is going to be transformed and everyone will receive their word. So without further ado, right, we're just going to bring on board Oluwaseun Newton. So everyone, welcome Oluwaseun. Hi sis.
Hello,
Welcome again.
thank you.
Hello.
Thank
Hello.
you for
How are you doing
having
this
me
evening,
finally.
this morning?
What is,
Right, like this I say, how are you doing this evening?
yeah, it's evening. I'm doing well. It's been a long day, but not really long, but
Right.
it's a good one.
Good to know. Good to know. This has been a long time coming, and I'm glad we're finally having this conversation, and it's happening today. So, just like we said, right, we believe despite everything, God had it in mind, and we're having it faith. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just get quickly into our conversation. Before I start asking you some other questions I want to ask, can we first meet Oluwaseun Newton? I'm sure some persons have read your name and some persons are just hearing you for the first time. So let's meet the wonderful and beautiful, blushing on our KGA meeting. Our KPS. First, you will say on the will be like, show. I'm saying show. I'm always hearing show. So let's meet that Oluwaseun today. Okay, so let's meet Oluwaseun meeting.
Just even thinking of where do I start from to introduce myself because where do I even pick it from? But I think I'll just be short and I'll try to summarize it.
Okay.
My name is Oluwaseun Newton. I'm a medical doctor well, I say by background, but sometimes I'm like, I actually say I'm a medical doctor because I'm not practicing, but yeah, I am a medical doctor and I'm I'm many things. I'm warm, I'm loving, I'm friendly. Relationships are one of the key things that I hold very dear, and I know how to nurture and keep relationships at least to an extent. I'm actually currently, transitioning into a different role. So at work, I'm a program administrator at Visionary Compass. Visionary Compass. I'm currently a master student. I recently started my master's in sustainability studies, and I'm looking into what's sustainable healthcare. I'm a coach, even though that part I'm still trying to, put some structure into it. But I'm a coach, I'm a counselor, I'm a mentor. As the case may be, I wear the hats whenever I need to wear the hats. But I will say maybe, yeah. So when I need to be a mentor and wear the hat of a mentor, I can wear my hat as a friend and I can be talking to my friend and I'm talking as a coach sometimes and I'm talking as a friend sometimes. So I'm the third of five children. I haven't seen my family in a long time. That's sad. Currently live in Germany and I've lived in Germany for 3 years now. Actually, 3 years this month or next. Yeah, actually, 3 years this month that I moved to Germany unplanned, but here I am in Germany. So
Mm.
I think maybe along the course of everything of this conversation, we're going to dive into the different parts. So I
Yeah.
have, I have, I hold many things there. I believe I have many, not many things, a lot of things that I think about that are really dear to me, and I hold them very pricely, if that's the word. But yeah, that's basically Oluwaseun. I'm fun. I think I'm okay to be with. I have a good sense of humor. I can laugh at myself, and I think I make people laugh too. So yeah, that's Oluwaseun.
Okay, so I think I love the way you describe Oluwaseun. I really love it. So I was listening to one message by Joshua Selma. I can't recall, maybe it was Wolfbeck. I can't recall. So, but he was mentioning people's name, and then he mentioned his name, and then was not telling you, do you think I will not mention my name? I will mention my name. So it's the fact for me, right, that you took us through who you are, right? Like you giving yourself some accolades that I'm this, I'm that, I'm warm, I'm nice to be with, and all of that. I love that. I truly love, because when you meet people, right, people don't tend to give themselves such covering that this is me, this is what I do. You don't usually see people do that. And speaking about you wearing many hats, I think I was just saying that if I'm to cap it into one thing, it would be the gift of your voice. It will be the gift of your voice. You really speaking to people. It will be the gift of your voice. Because when you're counseling, mentoring, coaching, and all of that, there's this gift of your voice that is coming out. And thank you for introducing yourself. So at least someone that's looking for a counselor, you can speak with Oluwaseun. Mentor, you can speak with Oluwaseun. So thank you so much. So it says something that you're currently in Germany. And I can't recall. I think the first time we really connected, maybe 2023. There was a group we're in together. Either they had paired us together or we paired ourselves, right? Yeah.
Was the
So I think that was the
ILDP.
first time, and we had it.
I think it was
Was it
ILDP.
ILD?
LDP accountability group that I ran. That's probably going to be the first place I.
No. That was not the first place. There was I can't recall now. We're supposed to teach during one of the KGA meeting, virtual something. I'm trying to record that program. So we're given a particular topic that you remember now, that they had paired two
Yeah,
people together. So
Kingdom
I think
Kingdom
we're having the
Council.
same. Thank you. We're having the same topic, and we had conversation around it. So I think that was the first time before the accountability group. So I think that's when I got your number. And either last year or so, I can't really recall. You're talking about your Ukraine journey, and I was like, okay, now, and I saw it. Now, can you take us through? I know it was a lot, but I know it's better some things in you. Can you take us through that transition from Ukraine to Germany? That journey that has transformed you, that is still adding to the person that you have become.
I probably would give an abridged version because if we sit down on the Ukraine journey, we will be here for quite a while. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
trust, yeah, it was, yeah, I'm going to trust that the Holy Spirit would let me know the right thing, not the right thing today, but the one that is necessary for sure. Because I really
This
can't speak the
conversation.
Ukraine journey for a while. So I went to Ukraine. How did I get to Ukraine? I will start from I have to go back. So I've been to
Yeah,
Ukraine. I have to go back.
exactly.
Yes, so I was studying medicine in Nigeria and I was in Osun State University.
What part of Nigeria?
Yes,
Okay.
Osun State
Oh
University.
wow.
That was where I started my medical school in, and I think I was in my third year. So the story is that for medicine in Nigeria, you need to for any school to be able to do MBBS, and I think there are 3 or 4 MBBS, MBBS one, MBBS two, MBBS three. I can't remember now because I didn't even do any MBBS at all in Nigeria. But for you to be able to do the one you do is when you do first year is everybody does first year, and then second year you do second year and third year. Then to be able to cross into fourth year in medical school in Nigeria, you need to do like the first MB. That's what they call it. And the law in Nigeria is that if a university does not have a teaching hospital, they cannot, they
Hmm.
don't have the license, so they need to get an accreditation. So my school was a new school. It was when Aregbeshola, not Aregbeshola, the person before Aregbeshola, I can't remember the governor's name now. It was the one that started the medical school. So we were the second set of people, no, the third set of people that joined medical school. But because we hadn't gotten our accreditation, we had people that were in third year, but they spent like, so we had third year first set, third year second set, and then we that were the original third year. If you can understand that dynamics of Nigerian Ohala. So then we were already planning to get our accreditation, and then our bachelor came into governorship. And I don't know what happened. And it was like he's not ready to go through the accreditation stress. I think he was going to cost a lot of money. And then it was like he's going to close down the medical school. And then they gave
Oh
us
wow.
option that we can either go to anatomy, physiology, or biochemistry to finish our degree, or like you can leave and go somewhere else. And then I was already planning that, okay, I did this medicine, I wanted to practice medicine, I wanted to be a pediatrician and all and all and all. And my mommy was like, if this is what you want to do, go and write jam again and all of this. And then before we knew it, we heard that the governor was saying that it was like, okay, why can't they take us to other medical schools? Then we realized that the Nigerian medical system was interesting. Nobody could absorb us into the medical system. They already had their own full medical system. Then he was like, okay, if Nigeria cannot take us, why not like other countries? And that was how, till today, I honestly want to believe that some things just happen that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think apparently he had taken a committee that they should go look for where else can absorb us. Like, why would just they let us go like that? And I think they came
Oh
back and
wow.
that they, I don't know, I don't know the back end, but we eventually found out that our school found a partnership with a university in Ukraine, and they were like they could absorb. But what happened was that it was like, okay, people that are in the third year, first set, so those people that have spent 5 years thereabouts, and third year, second set, those people that have spent 4 years, they'll be the ones to go. And we were going to find our own way, or either you self sponsor yourself if you want to go to Ukraine, or you find your own way. And we did not have money to self sponsor because I'm like, I'm not the only child. To go to Ukraine is not like I didn't know about Ukraine until that period. And then my mom was like, well, go and do jump again. So I actually went and wrote jump again because even though my mommy would have tried to take us to Ukraine, I knew that it was a journey that won't be sustainable because I understood the financial situation at home. And I didn't want to put my parents
Mm.
under that pressure. So I'm like, no, we're not going to Ukraine as being self-sponsored. And as God will have it, whatever happened till today, I have no idea because I want to believe that if I look at my life, it's a journey that God Himself was orchestrating. And before we knew it, we heard, oh, well, I don't know where to go. Either they lobbied or he had it. I don't know what they did, but we now heard, oh, we're already in third year now. Like we're already in the same third year. So why would they take third year one and two? They will now leave third year three. That's how long and short, Sha. He said, okay,
Mm.
he will carry all of us and sponsor us in Ukraine. And it took maybe another 7, 8 months after that process. But that's how I actually found myself in Ukraine. I didn't plan to go to Ukraine. It was not in
Mm.
my radar. I didn't even know that, even though I knew there was a country called Ukraine, it didn't sit. No, to be honest, I didn't know there was a country called Ukraine until when
Mm.
some of my friends started going to Ukraine when this issue started. And that's how I found myself in Ukraine. And the plan was I entered second year because they were like they couldn't take us in third year. We had to do second year. So I joined second year, second semester, and then I just had 4 more years to go because I was entering third year that same year I got into Ukraine. And the plan was actually to go finish Ukraine.
Mm.
I had family in the UK, come back home, write my medical exam, all of those things, and go to the UK, like not be the way it has gone now, but that was my plan because well, I wanted to be a pediatrician. And then it was in my fifth year I realized that number one, I don't think I wanted to practice medicine. I knew that I don't think I wanted to practice medicine. And then I started hearing God say, stay back in Ukraine. And I'm like, huh? To do what? Stay back in Ukraine for what?
Mm.
And I've grown I'm still growing in my journey with God, but at least I had a relationship with God.
Mm.
I understood what He was saying, and I remember having to say, God, Ukraine, because Ukraine was not like UK or US. If God is saying stay back in Ukraine, at least when I was in school, Ukraine was say quite a dry land. People finish and then go because they don't give you documents. They don't even allow you to work as a student. So they just take all your money. So people finish Ukraine and go. So we really found, so if you at least at that time, the Ukraine dynamics was you don't see adults like people with families the way you see in other countries. So if God says stay back in Ukraine, it's like God saying now that people are saying stay back in Nigeria, if you get what I mean. It wasn't that attractive to stay. If God was saying stay back in UK, You will say,
Mm.
you will not even argue it too much because, do you get what I
Exactly.
mean? Ukraine was not like that. At least
Yeah.
like when I left, it was still very dry. And I'm like, stay back in Ukraine, how? But I knew very clearly. And he gave me a series of things that I was supposed to do. I didn't do them, but I'll go back to that because now I know why those things. But he gave me a little things of what I needed to do in Ukraine. And that's how I stayed back in Ukraine. Even though I had planned that, I still planned that I was going to write PLAB. I wrote IELTS, but I didn't pass. I didn't pass to the level that we need to write PLAB. But eventually, I knew that I was going to stay back in Ukraine. How long, I didn't know, to be honest. But I stayed and I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? They don't allow you to work like this. So I had to take a second master's. So I took master's immediately I finished school and I did master's in public administration. I finished and I was able to find a work, not really in Ukraine, but online. So I was living in Ukraine, but I was working online remotely. And before you know it, time went. And in 2021, I'm like, okay, God, if I backtrack, in 2019, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And then we battled that until 2020 when he passed. So he hit me. I'm saying everything. So he really did hit me because I'm like,
Mm.
why? I was, I didn't know I was angry at God until much later
Mm.
because I'm like, it's not fair. You were the one that asked me to stay back in Ukraine. How will you let my daddy die? And I couldn't even see him. So the last time I saw him was when I came home in 2015 for visits. And that coming home, I had to beg to come home because I was like, I want to come home. My dad was like, no, finish your studies first before you come home. But I was like, Mommy, I need to go. And I'm really grateful that I pushed for it because it would mean that I wouldn't have ever seen my dad
Mm.
at all. Like,
Senior
yeah.
dad. Mm.
But I was really mad. I didn't know that I was holding that hurt. Then 2020 came, then the pandemic came. I couldn't even travel home to for his burial. And then in 2021,
Mm.
I feel like that was the beginning of a rebirth or a journey that I didn't even know. I'd hit rock
Mm.
bottom. I was looking good on the outside. I was leader in church. I was the big sister
Mm.
to people. I was this, I was that. I was the mediator of my family members. Even though I'm in Ukraine, they will call me for many things that are in Nigeria. But I'd actually hit rock bottom. How would I
Mm.
call it? I hit ground zero. And I was like, I'm tired.
Mm.
Like, my life is not moving in this Ukraine. Like, things are not, like, you said I should stay, but like, I'm not seeing the reason why you asked me to stay and all. And that was actually how I met DDK because I
Mm.
took a retreat and my friend had shared, so my friend had gotten engaged and she was like, I'm sure I recently, like, I knew that she had gotten engaged and she was just sharing with me one of the things that she had listened to as she was preparing to get married. And it was supernatural marriage course by DDK. And she was sharing it for me for marriage. So I took a retreat in that 2021 when my life was, I don't know, I just felt like, I don't know what made me to take that course as my retreat. And I took that and I feel like that was when my life began to change, even though series of change happened after. I had DDK and till today, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it, but I could not unhear her voice, if that's the way to call it. And I went and searched online. But how will I say? And I was asking the Holy Spirit, okay, I feel like I know what I want to do now in Ukraine. Just in a few short moments of hearing, I felt okay. I will stay back in. Like I prayed again, like, okay, do you want me to stay back in Ukraine? Do you want me to leave? And I had very clearly stay back in Ukraine. So I said, okay. And I had a plan. I thought I was getting better. I kind of mapped on life. I joined Immerse mastermind November. Like I heard DK's voice. I just knew that I needed to be here. And I was like, only, and for me, I think it was
Mhm.
significant because I knew that I needed to do, I had like the assignments now that we know it as assignments, but I knew that my heart was burning for some things. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And it was a honest prayer. And I'm like, I need a teacher. That was how I prayed the prayer.
Mm.
If you want me to do this, I need a teacher. It's in retrospect that I
Mm.
know that he answered my question by sending me to the DK. And it was like, this is the person I've sent you to. Go and go and be there. Because I didn't know who she was. I was in my own world in Ukraine. So I didn't know who she was until like after I'd entered. So in my mind, I'm like, where is this woman that you sent me to? What are you like? I had to go back to say, what am I doing here? I don't know her. I've never even heard of her name before. Like, I knew some people in Nigeria, but for some reason, I didn't know her. And God was like, stay here and stay in Ukraine. And then the war came, and I was angry. Because,
Mm.
like, why will you ask me to stay 4 years in Ukraine? Then I'm staying 4 years in Ukraine, and it's like, I still asked you in September, do I stay? Do I go? You said I should stay. Then why am I staying? After I felt like, okay, now I know what I want to do in Ukraine. I went to start Newton's Academy. I'd written out a proposal. I'd done everything. I'd planned how the years in Ukraine would go. I understood now assignments. I understood why the things I wanted to do, I couldn't do them. I felt that, oh, thank you for giving me this second chance. I will stay in Ukraine. I know what to do in the Ukraine. And then the war comes. Why would there be a war? Why will you ask me to leave my place? Why would you? I was angry. I was angry at God because I'm like, it's not fair. I don't think you are fair. I don't think you're good because it didn't
Mm.
look good. Even though I was grateful, things like the way the war happened, the way the day the war broke out, the bombings that we had, I was in the basement with my friends. I was in my house. Like the entire story of the Ukraine, the first day. And the thing was that we had a war or a similar war in 2014 and it died down after a while. So we were like, oh, is this the same thing that happened again in 2014? Like it would blow over. And I remember I was
Die
on the phone
down.
with my
Mm.
mom and she was saying, do you want, because I had a ticket for my mom's 60th birthday in June. I'd already bought a ticket. And she was like, do you want to, come? And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it if, and that was like maybe a week before the war broke out. If it looks like it's very stressful, I would just move my ticket forward and maybe stay longer. I was planning to stay like a month or two. I would move my ticket forward, stay and then stay longer. But I didn't even get to use the ticket because a week after I woke up and it was even my mentee that called me and she was like, they've bombed us. I say, how? What do you mean that they've bombed us? What do you mean? I am so grateful to
Imagine.
you today. I'm very grateful that I didn't hear that first bomb because I think it was either 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the middle of the night that the first one hit. But as soon as I woke up, I saw the news. I already saw first bombs have been hit, Kharkov, where I live. The message, boom, somewhere around has been hit, and I could feel the vibration. I say, oh, okay, so this is real. I had to text my family that it looks like they've bombed us. So what? All this is I'm laughing about now.
Mm.
I was still wondering what we were going to do. Like, okay, maybe it will blow over a few days. Like, let's watch it. What is going to happen? And that was everybody that knew me started reaching out. Are you safe? Are you fine? Even me too. I was reaching out to my friends in Ukraine. Are you safe? Are you fine?
Mm.
What is happening with you? Are you okay? I don't even want to experience that in my life. I don't wish it on my enemy or on my worst enemy. I don't wish it. Anytime I used to see people on the internet saying, let's separate Nigeria, yeah, I say, hey,
They
it's
don't know.
no. Don't like war should not be the thing you are praying for in your entire life. It was
Mm.
I was living alone. I was calling my friends. Family was calling me. How are you doing? Are you okay? And then it was now, my aunt was like, okay, you need to pack. I had to Google for the first time in my life. I had to Google online what to pack in your emergency bag because I did not even know what to pack. Because
Wow.
I was like, you have to have an emergency bag if anything happens. So I actually Googled online how to pack emergency bag. Whatever they said, you should just carry your documents, carry a few things. Even my auntie was even saying that the documents, my passport, I should not put it in my bag. I should put it in my on me. But the clothes I was wearing, I didn't have anything, so I had to get a small. I had a small sling bag, so I put my passport, I think my phone in that. So I was wearing that constantly on me while carrying my bag. And how what even happened though? So it was a lot of mental, like you will hear boom, and you're wondering what's happening, what's happening. I'm calling my friend. So that day, that very first day, I just said, okay, I don't want to be under tension. They already said sharing bomb shelters, go to the nearest bomb shelter next to you. I went outside. I saw people queuing at the ATM. People going to go and buy food and stock food. Even me, I used to go and stock food. The food wasted. I said, let me stock food because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I like, let me watch it. Let
mm,
me see what is going to happen for a few days before I start panicking. So all of our friends network, we were just calling each other. Are you safe? What are you hearing? This. I started
mm,
leaving. Nigerian commission started saying, go here. It was horrible. It was horrible. And then I was like, okay. I told my family that, oh, okay. Oh. So I packed a few things in my emergency bag and I was like, oh, I'm going to the bomb shelter. No, I was going to we have this underground, like the underground railway, and it acts as a bomb shelter. So I didn't, the nearest bomb shelter was, they say you should either stay in your basement of your house or go to a bomb shelter. My house basement was not open, so I couldn't go there. They were already advising, don't stay near the wall, don't stay near the window. If you hear anything, lay flat on the floor. Hey, God.
mm.
See,
Oh
I don't
God, I can't imagine. Like,
anyone in this entire world. I don't wish it. Then I went to my friends. I went to the um and it was winter. If I learned anything, when Bible used to make sense, I
mm,
had finally understood why God said, "Don't let your rapture be in winter," because people
mm,
freeze. So it was cold. It even snowed. It was on Thursday that it hit us. It snowed the next day to make matters worse. But I was already in the basement and it was cold. It was cold. It was very, very cold. But it was either staying in the underground metro. Then I saw two of my friends or my church members. It was too cold to stay in the basement in the metro. So I went to their house. And
basement.
like the last time I stayed in my apartment, I didn't come to my apartment again. So I didn't plan to leave my apartment. And that's maybe the thing that paid me because I still left some very important documents in Ukraine that I never got back and I probably will never retrieve
Yeah,
again.
back home.
I just carried a school bag, honestly. A school bag with my laptop, with maybe a few change of clothes and my bag. That was what I left my apartment with, and that's what I left Ukraine with, to be honest. So I went to my friend's house, and then I think the next day I had to move to another my friend's house because they were traveling by bus, and I didn't want to travel out of Ukraine by bus. Like I'm like, what if they blow the bomb? What is going to happen to us? I was not willing to travel. Bus was too risky. I went to another of my friend's house, and that was where I stayed till Sunday. That was probably, I don't even know. She lives in the sixth floor. There was no elevator. Thank God that there was still lights and water, and then we could still cook. But cook, okay, I didn't eat properly for like maybe I ate one good meal for that period before I left Ukraine. Or maybe two good meals. When the bomb hit, we will run to the basement, stay there for a while, oh, because it was too cold. We will now go back up again. Then it will hit, we will run down again, oh, then we will stay. On Saturday, I feel like Saturday night was the worst. Till today, I want to assume that the angels kept that building because the way that building was shaking,
Mm,
Saturday night was my scariest of it because the way the building was shaking, I was crying. No, I could not cry. I remember when I was Saturday morning, we are trying to now, so we started saying that okay, people then trains are the government had opened trains to take people out of the city to the east. And they just leave the city. That's what they were doing. To get to the train station was walk. There were no cabs. The bus had stopped working. We would call cabs tired. There were no cabs. And I remember I Saturday when I was about to cry. I called my aunt. I was like, she was like, no, put your tears back. I said, okay. I was not using aunt. I think you can use aunt to push.
Jesus.
I said
Wow.
you can use hand to push tears back inside. She was like, be strong. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. You can do it. What do you need to do? Okay. That was how we said, okay, we would try again. But there was now coffee. Before the coffee was um is it 6 in the evening or 10 in the evening to 6 in the morning. They shall make the coffee like 6 in the evening. So we could not travel again on Saturday. We had to stay. So we were like, okay, Sunday morning, no, we have to find a way to leave this place and get to the train station. Sunday night was probably the worst night that I don't know if people even experience. People are still experiencing worse, but Sunday night was where I felt like the building was going to collapse on us anytime, any day. The frequency of the vibrations, you could tell that it was getting close to where we are. And anytime, any day, the bomb could hit our area. It was very clear. very, very clear. I had a friend that was leaving his house, and then the bomb hit his apartment. I'm serious. We could like the way the
Wow.
vibrations were, and I was just like, holy. And I remember just praying one prayer because I couldn't pray. I was just praying the Psalms, maybe Psalm 90.
Mm,
And I know that I told because people were trying to call me, and I was like, you people, it's a lot overwhelming. What I'm going to do is that I will update my WhatsApp status. So I was doing nights, I'm safe. Morning, I'm safe. That was how I was doing because I knew that
I'm safe.
I need only my immediate family to contact me. Nobody else should be calling me. If you are calling me, you are stressing me out. Like people were sharing
Mm-hmm.
everything. Abike baby was saying, go here. It was just a lot. So I'm like, don't call, I will update you. But on Saturday night, I couldn't update because I wasn't sure I was safe.
Mm,
I remember told my friend saying, she have not seen your updates. I say I'm fine. But it's when I was like, this fine I'm saying is fake. I'm using to say fine because I couldn't be because if I said I was safe, everybody would do a bit of relaxing again until the tomorrow's update. But I was like, I'm not, I don't think I'm safe. And I remember praying one prayer that I don't know. And if my mommy was praying the same prayer, I was like, Mom, I was like, God, I've lost, my mommy has lost a husband. Please don't make her lose it.
mm,
It wasn't even no longer about me again. It was like my mommy, I don't
mm,
think my mommy can withstand in the shortness of time with the way my daddy passed suddenly, even though he was sick. It wasn't look like it was. There's the way you are sick that you're thinking, oh, it's getting to the end. And when it was that end,
mm-hmm.
he survived. So we're thinking, okay, we can beat. So he was just he went into coma one day and that was it. So we didn't nobody said goodbye to him.
Mm,
Like we didn't know that that was the final day. So I'm like, God, my mommy just lost a husband. Like, I beg you in the name of God, don't make her lose a daughter because it was horrible. It was actually horrible. And that morning, we were booking cabs. Like, imagine you booking cab for tomorrow morning from this, like, we were booking cabs. They were canceling on us. Till today, I can't take credit. I would think if I get to heaven, oh, I will see the angel script because I believe categorically that it was the angel that opened the way. By 6:02 or so, we had gotten a cab. And why that was very important was because I think I'd gotten to the train station before I heard that they had hit where I'm just coming from has been hit.
mm,
Day. So that shaking I was feeling that night, I knew that it was just a moment of time that it will hit us. And what would have happened? We were three girls. We would have been too scared to leave again. They had closed, people had gone to the metro. So even if you're going to leave Ukraine, probably it would maybe be a few more days later. Till today, I want to believe that angels were holding that area. I'm not kidding. That's my theory and I stand by it because why is it that when we left, like
mm,
got to the maybe train station, maybe 6:24, and then 6:27, my friend was like, I saw the rocket. He was coming out of his house and then he saw it coming. Can you imagine? It's funny, we're
mm.
laughing.
Like it feels like I'm having.
We are laughing.
Yeah, I think for me, right, I'm even having some good ones as they are saying it, and I'm just like,
We are
just
laughing.
imagine everything that has happened. And for me, right, it just gives me the understanding that, see, when God places his hand upon your life, the journey might be tough, right? You might not even understand. You can even be like, okay, why is this happening to me? But then when you look back at it, at every bit of it, you will definitely see that God was here. God was there. God was there. You're not alone. There were things that he was doing that you were not even aware of. Even in the point where you were scared, right? He was still there, putting things together. So imagine that the bombing did not happen when you guys were there. Imagine that at the point where you were so you're tired of everything and all of that, God sent you a teacher. So and look at everything that has happened. So for me, it just gives one the understanding that, see, when God places his hand upon your life, right, you just make sure that you just relax in him, even when you don't understand. Even when you don't understand. So it can at times, right? I think for me, I've said it that when you are going through the journey, I cannot even really explain. Go through the journey. Let that season be done. When you are done with that season, sit down, think back. You will not see the traces.
Yeah. It was
You
looking
will
back.
see the traces. So listen
Yeah,
to it.
completely agree. It was looking back, I
You
saw
will
that
see the traces.
things, yeah. It was looking back after things had calmed down that I saw that, oh, even though I was still not happy with God, I'm not even going to lie to you. I was still holding a grudge with him because I'm like, no, why would I leave? How will I spend 9 years somewhere and I'm living with only a school bag? Like, how does that happen in
Mm,
someone's lifetime? How will I live 9 years? Like, so you know that the 9 years was just there for. So why did you ask me to stay in Ukraine when you know that war will still come and chase me away from this place?
mm,
It didn't make sense to me till today. I think even though I can still plot some things, honestly, I know that I still have questions. And was it Germany I was supposed to come to eventually? That Ukraine was the stopgap. I think I've answered a few questions, but I still have some unanswered questions that in the next few years, it will make sense why this journey is. Some of them have made sense. Some have still not made
yeah.
lines.
Mm-hmm,
Some have
mm-hmm,
still not been clear.
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
and that was how I left. We left Ukraine. I was in Budapest. Germany was not even my first. To be honest, Germany was not my. Germany was not my. Germany was not what I was thinking of at all. Because I was like, I
You
didn't have
guys didn't even know where you're going to.
No, to be honest, I thought I was going back home. That was how I felt.
Okay.
So I was like, so is this how the so I'm not even kidding. I thought I was actually going home back to Nigeria. I was prepared to
Mm,
go back home to Nigeria. And when I got to Buda, because Hungary, so we had to go to the place where Ukraine, there was no flights. So we had to go to where the place where Ukraine shared borders with other countries. So the nearest one that was close to us was that was where people went to first. So before I even left Ukraine, we're already hearing don't go to Poland though. Poland border is already full. So they were not giving us other options. So there was Moldova, Slovenia, and Hungary. Those are the other three countries that border Ukraine that you can choose from. It took me 30 hours or 29 hours and 20 something minutes to get from the train was moving at the speed of a snail because he was careful. At a point said we are on maybe for like 5 hours, they turn off all the lights. They say we should be quiet. They say we should keep quiet. Turn off your phones, turn off your GPS. I was just like, God, hey God, God, please just help.
yes, so, Amen.
Inside the bush, and somebody come and die. Like it's not because all this is that we can laugh about it.
Yeah.
I got to Hungary, so I was in Budapest, and they said we should go to the. So when we got to the border, I use leg to cross Ukraine. Oh. I use leg to cross from taxi to cross to the border. Then I use leg to walk into the like I use leg to cross the journey to the next place. His leg I used to cross it and that like the line, his leg I used to cross the line from Ukraine to Hungary.
Eh,
Leg I used to cross the
another country.
his leg go. So when we got it, they said we should go to the embassy and show ourselves at the Hungarian immigration. So when I got there, they gave me 3 months stay. So I think that was where I was okay. Okay, do I really want to go? And why okay, there's an opportunity to stay. And the reason why for me home was not it was because not it was not I felt the Holy Spirit saying like it wasn't time. And the other reason was because I knew that I needed to do a master's in the health sector. So I felt okay because if I went to Nigeria, I knew that I was going to go back out almost immediately. So okay, what's the point of
Mm,
going and then go back out? Let me see how to get the opportunities here. It's easier once you're already there. It's much easier to get it than like going. So that was even the reason why I didn't go back home. Even though I thought I was going to be going home, I already planned. Okay, I'll go and do the MDCN exam. I'll write the PLAB. Even though I didn't want to practice medicine, that was like the next best thing. I'm a doctor. I have this degree. I will go and practice it. I will go and be fine now. But since I now got the opportunity, then I had family in the UK. And then the UK embassy said that no, because I didn't have a Ukrainian passport, even though my auntie was there, they were only taking people that had Ukrainian time. And even though I had a residence card, it did not work. I had a family friend in Sweden, the same thing. They said no, they're not taking people that they only have they only taking people that have Ukrainian ties. I was supposed to go to Ireland. The Holy Spirit said no, you're not going to Ireland. And I'm like, why are you closing all the doors? Like, what is happening? And then I woke up one morning, I had
mm,
a dream. I might not be able to share the details, but I had a dream and the next morning I just saw a news that Germany has opened, because I was like, my friend had gone to Germany like a week after we got to Budapest. I was like, I don't know anybody in Germany. How would I go and be stranded in Germany? Like, I don't know anybody in Germany. Why am I going to Germany to go? Why am I going to where I don't know anybody? And the reason why was because I knew the stress it took me to get on my feet to an extent, even after I finished school from from Ukraine. I was dependent on my family.
Okay.
As soon as I finished, I was like, my mom cannot be sending money. So I had to settle myself. I knew how long it took me to settle. So I didn't want to go to a new country where I didn't know anybody, because I understood this like I understood the psychology of settling in a foreign land. So that was why I was really pushing to go to where at least there's family. I'm not alone. But I had that dream and I woke up and I just saw Germany has done something, and I just knew. The always feel like you're going to Germany. And I'm like,
Mm.
what do you mean Germany? Why Germany? And yeah, that's how I found myself in Germany. You asked one question,
Wow.
went back 20 years, but yeah, that's how I didn't plan. And the funny thing that the two countries I've lived in, I didn't plan it to. You plan to go to US, you plan to go to UK. You are thinking about it, you are preparing for it. But in my own case, I didn't plan it. There was scholarship opportunity. Then Germany came. I didn't plan Germany. Germany was not my first choice. I would have got to go to an English speaking country. Why am I stressing myself? I'm learning like, yeah. But here I am in Germany. 3 years later, I'm still here.
Mm, mm, mm. Like, I'm trying to something in, and just still giving me the understanding when Bible say that the ways of God are not our ways, our thoughts are not his thoughts. So you're planning to go to this country, but then he was having this plan in mind. And again, it just made me remember something. I think there was this conference last weekend, we ladies, Pastor Toyin Pojoyemade, and she was saying something. I think DDK was even the one that gave an example of what happened to her. She had gone to camp to pray about something. She had something in mind that she wanted to pray about. But God was telling her something entirely different. Just entirely different. But at the end of the day, it was still making sense. God still gave answer to that, but God needed to get our attention in this. And so just looking at the journey, Ukraine, spending 9 years, having to live with just a school bag and just one tiny bag, and then look at where you are today, the things that has happened in your life and all of that. It just really gives one the understanding that, see, you might think your way is perfect, but God's way is actually more perfect. It can even hurt you at times, right? It can just be really, really be deep. That you're just like, close shell, what's going on? And just have a lot. But then in all of it, if you can just see that tiny hand of God, if you're not seeing the outstretched arm, but just see that tiny hand there, and then you just know that God is really involved in your journey. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that journey with us, really. Thank you for sharing that journey with us. And it can even now help people that are trying to settle in other country. I wanted to ask that. So how are you not able to settle in Germany? But I'm like, if I should ask that question, I might end up spending more minutes in this. So well, let me go to my next question, right? Looking at your journey thus far, what is that role of God that you want to bring out? Your journey thus far, the years you have spent in Ukraine, the years that you are spending in Germany, the things now you can now say, okay, you are wearing different hats and all of that. So, but then what is the role of God in your journey as a visionary?
I'm trying to look for the best way to answer that question, because
Hmm.
I'm really, because I can just make it very generic and say that God is everything, is the one that leads, is the one that directs. But
Mm-hmm.
and I won't be lying, which is actually the truth of it, or the matter is the fact that I've made decisions that I want to, like, how will I put the role of God? Since I knew God, I grew up in a Christian home. My daddy was a pastor, even though I attended Sele. So I knew the concept of God. I gave my life to God many times. I took it like I did that. So till today, I cannot say when people say I gave my life to God 10th of November 1995. I don't have a date because I went for altar calls many times until it was when I got to the university I made that conscious decision that okay, I got into medical school, there was a fellowship, and those were, if I want to say, were my foundation years, and learning to walk with God, study your Bible, and all of those things. And the only way I can categorize the role of God in my missionary journey is that I might not be everywhere I want to be or where I think I should be, but I've
mm,
honestly made decisions in my life that I truly believe were the words like what God wanted me to do. That's how I can
mm,
explain it. My mommy sent me, and that's mommy sent me a message last week sharing a bit of concern about some things, and I had to assure, and what I said was that like God has led me this far. I've actually done what I feel,
mm,
in all honesty and in all easy humility. I've walked in the fact that I believe this is what God is asking me to do now. That's how I've worked. And to be honest, when I get to heaven, will I be like, was it really good I said that thing, or did I hear myself? But
mm,
I have made decisions because I believe that God was the one in this journey with me. The decision to stay back in Ukraine wasn't an easy decision in that sense. My parents didn't understand it. My friends didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to them. I had a friend say, like, doctor, like you're Newton, if you're telling me you're not going to practice medicine, I would have laughed. You are too smart not to practice medicine. What are you doing like here and here in
mm,
Ukraine? Even the Germany decision, I didn't make it as I chose Germany because Germany is the maybe the giant of Europe, if you get what I mean. Every step I've kind of made in my life, honestly, every major step, minor step,
mm,
has been to the extent that I heard God. Have I heard God every time? Have I done everything? But to be honest, that's how I would describe it. I've made decisions based on this is what I know God is saying. And I'm working with God to an extent now that I understand His voice. I hear His voice. It's not, is it not, is it not? And He has made it consistently clear. Germany is another example of that. I came with just not knowing what to do, and it might have been slow, but I've done it in the way I feel like God is asking me to do it. I started my master's on I came into the year looking for a job, and I entered into the year and the Holy Spirit said, it's time to focus on your master's. Like I need you to prioritize your master's. And that was what I did. And I got a master's opportunity in the easiest way that I can describe it. That's another story
mm,
for another day. But I was thinking of a master's. I was going to do it at service, but I came into that year with a plan on my own. But the first 7 days of the year, the plan changed. Literally
mm,
changed. And am I everything I need to do? Am I even fully clear on this missionary journey? No, to be honest, because when you hear the decay, there's a part where even though God is saying there's the emotion, there's the movement part you need to do, which I'm now doing. But honestly, I've made decisions or I'm making my life decision based on what I feel like God is saying, to be honest.
mm, mm.
Does that
Thank you.
answer your question?
I think, yeah, thank you for your vulnerability, because one of the things I can see in everything you are saying is your vulnerability and sincerity. Like at every point you're saying it, it's not as if I've gotten it all, but then I'm working with God. So you are showing that part, because some persons feel like when you are vulnerable, it means that you are weak, or it means that you are not really putting out yourself out there. But then I've always said something, that vulnerability is actually a sign that you are actually you are comfortable in who you are becoming, and you are comfortable in who you are. So thank you for answering that question in that way. Yeah, I can, and it just gives us the understanding that, see, you can be going through life and just feel like you don't need God, but actually you need God. This world is too wide. It's too wide for you to think that you can just be going solo without God. Thank you for sharing that part. Now I want to go to the other segment of this conversation.